So I decided to make a handout for basically an epilepsy handout for clients to take home whenever they come and see our service for the first time for seizures. I work for the neurology service at UF, and so we see a lot of patients that have seizures either as a result of idiopathic epilepsy or as a result of having a brain tumor or inflammatory disease or anything like that. The majority of the ones that the seizure handout that I made is for the people with patients that have epilepsy. The ones that we typically see more frequently are dogs and cats that are not able to be managed by one drug, and they need to be managed by multiple drugs. Some of them cluster, some of them have a history of going into status and having been hospitalized. And it's mostly so owners can understand kind of the process of working with us and us trying to work with them and work with their referring vet. And so I came up with a handout to give to people, basically a little bit of just defining what seizures are and going into partial seizures, facial seizures, focal seizures, generalized seizures, and kind of psychomotor seizures like fly biting, a little bit of different ones that we see. And basically it gives people a breakdown of how we manage them and how we kind of expect them to work with us in order to manage them. The problem that we have is a lot of the times people don't understand that we actually need to see them for exams and for blood work, especially if they're on multiple drugs that affect, liver values or anything like that, so we can manage that. And so basically outlines that we need to see them ideally every 6 months or at least every year legally in order to refill meds, and a lot of the blood work that goes into monitoring them, both their organs and their drug levels. And also medications, just a breakdown of, if they need refills, please don't wait until the last minute. Please, give the meds as it's directed, unless you're on your discharges, unless it's otherwise directed over the phone. And basically what to expect with a dog with seizures or a cat with seizures. We do have a lot of clients who don't quite understand that we're never going to make their seizures go away. The goal is to make them as the least frequent as possible. And lastly is basically what is an emergency, because a lot of the times we'll have owners call and they're saying, my dog is having seizures, my dog's had 3 seizures today, or they'll email, what can I do? And just basically outlines, what is an emergency, if the dog is clustering, if your dog is having a seizure that is more than 5 minutes, this is an emergency. This is not something that can be managed over the phone, and it requires hospitalization, potentially IV meds, and then it gives our main hospital phone number, and then that our emergency and critical care service is available all the time. So please don't hesitate to contact them. And so it basically is something that I wanted to start handing out to patients that we see that have seizures for the first appointments that we have for the first time, because I think it gives owners a breakdown. Again, we tell them these things in the appointment, we write it down in their discharges, but that's a lot of information for people to have. And so I feel like it's something that we're able to give to people so they have this information on hand so they can take it home, look it over, and they have an idea, again, of what is expected of them in order to work with us. And that's it.